If you ask me, I believe in next 2 to 3 years, every single industry will have copilots. This is according to the data. 85% of data is sitting idle in all the big companies. We're not utilizing that data. AI is really good at analyzing data. So now if we take all this data that we're not utilizing and we just feed to this AI, either we train an AI model or we just ask a bunch of questions about our data, like, okay, where am I losing money? What can I do better in marketing and sales? What kind of modules I should train that my team would be a lot better from here. So I believe that every industry will be using that.
What kind of insight would you give to reach where you are currently?
The insights I would say is just have a curious mind. That's all. That's all you need, because everything is available online. All the knowledge that you need in the world to become anyone, everything is available either on YouTube or any other platform that you can find. All you need is a curious mind and then a consistent approach.
So welcome, CJ. A short background to our audience. We came out with your AI content during AI Automation Agency boom period. And same time I met Gino. And let's get started. My first question would be, what is AI? Let's talk about AI and explain what is AI as if I'm a 5-year-old kid.
Sure. No, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. Gino, I know him for a long time now. I think we met long before we had some calls. I don't know where he's just gone, but his content is super good. His thoughts are super good. So I'm excited to hear about what you guys are cooking. So yeah, that's me. And just to give you an introduction on what's AI, I think we just found an alien kid recently, and we're just trying to talk to that kid right now. That's what we all are trying to do. We just don't know what this kid can do for us in the future, but we're just trying to speak to this alien kid and just trying to see how fast it can learn about humanity. And interestingly, this is the most genius kid we ever had. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And sometime in the future, I think this kid will be as knowledgeable as we are. And I think that's where the AGI comes in. But I'm super excited. So that's the very simplistic explanation of AI.
Perfect. Like, I think a lot of people that are going to be watching this, CJ, would have seen you on Twitter. But I think a lot of people still have that question of, are we in a bubble when it comes to AI, or should we believe the hype still? In your opinion, what do you think about that? Do you believe it's a bubble, or do you believe literally we're at the beginning of something that's going to revolutionize everything still?
That's a very good question. I think after internet, this is the biggest invention we humans did. And just like what happened when internet came into the region, the websites, the mobile apps, and all the innovation that we've seen in the last 20 years, this is what we are about to witness with AI. We will see everything will be integrated with artificial intelligence, some sort of copilot, some sort of analysis, some sort of generations. And that's what we're already noticing. Every system that we use, from Windows to mobile phones to apps, everything is integrating this AI. So I don't think so this is a bubble. I think this is a start of a new revolutionary era where we use technology to boost our productivity, to boost our, the way we live, the way we think, the way we work. And it is an exciting time for me. And I just love to be here to learn from, genius brains and just to see where things are going.
So CJ, we would really like to know you a little bit better, because from Twitter, there was like not a lot of information about your background and story. So tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, and like what you did before.
For sure. So I joined Twitter in 2021. Before that, I was just working a corporate job. By profession, I'm a data analyst, and I just love to dive deep into data to find, trends and anything that the data can provide us. So that's what I was doing before. But luckily, I found AI when GPT-3 was here. I was in few guys that were enrolled in GPT-3 beta. version. So I just went there, experimented with that, just made calls to my, guys like, hey, this is the time, this is what we were looking for. So let's just experiment with some cool stuff. So I was writing content at that time about crypto technology. I was not gambling. I was not buying any NFTs or coins. I was literally hyped up about the technology behind that, the blockchain technology. But I felt that that space was not moving really fast. There was so much scope. There was so much, use cases, but we were not moving really fast. But when I found AI, everything was like in a sync for me, because everything was open sourced, everything was available for me to test out. We were all experimenting, and it was a really good culture. So I thought, okay, let's just experiment, let's just pivot to something really good. And I found really good guys that I, hanged out with, and we were just trying to do some experiments. We built some apps, and we sold that just to validate our idea that if the technology is there, or we're still, we need to wait to get this thing to be matured, and we will start, using that in our daily lives. But it was a really good transition for me in 2021 from Web3 to literally in AI. And after that, I think it's been 3 years, and I am doing consultancy. I'm building 3 startups myself right now. I did 2 cohorts, and I worked with more than 70 plus companies just to consult them how they can use AI in their day-to-day systems. I ran an AI automation agency, just like So I did a lot of experiments in just these 3 years, just to find out like what is the ideal direction for all of us to go into.
And just so I think it's really interesting listening to you there, that you have lots of experience within the space already, even though it's relatively new space for the majority of people. But you said, you mentioned you're kind of going towards one direction, and you experimented a lot to find that one direction. What is that direction you're going in now?
That's a very good question. So I started as a solo hustler, just learning about AI, like prompting, and then I went into fine tuning. Then there was an AI automation bubble. So I started as a solo hustler. Then I went into the agency model. Like, okay, what an AI automation agency can do. Then I went into AI consultancy, and I was consulting some big companies in North America. Now I believe the technology is matured enough that we build actual systems, and that I call like copilots and agents that are very much well versed on a certain topics. And that's what I am trying to do right now. I am trying to build copilots for different industries, like an AI that does X, Y, and Z for A agency or B agency. B industry. And that's what I think is the goal right now for me, just to empower different industries or different niches with AI, so they can be more efficient and they can be more profitable, or they can save more time on their end.
Just a quick question, just for it's really interesting hearing you. That what's the industries, if you had to give one industry where you feel is gonna really benefit from that style of copilot, which one do you think would it be?
If you ask me, I believe in next 2 to 3 years, every single industry will have copilots. Because right now, and this is according to the data, 85% of data is sitting idle in all the big companies. We're not utilizing that data. So that means that we're just making progress on just 15% of insights that are coming from whatever that we're doing inside the company. So now imagine, and AI is really good at analyzing data. So now if we take all this data that we're not utilizing and we just feed to this AI, either we train an AI model or we just ask a bunch of questions about our data, like, okay, where am I losing money? What can I do better in marketing and sales? What kind of modules I should train that my team would be a lot better from here. So I believe that every industry will be using that. But what am I focusing on? I am focusing on boring industries. And there is a thought behind that, and that's kind of a psychological thought. Everyone is building something flashy. Oh, I want to build new Google. Oh, 100%. I want to build, the next, Amazon. But for me, I am looking for boring industries like real estate, like insurance, like law and things like that
Yeah.
people are not focusing on. And I'm just trying to build their assistants, their agents. And I think that's where the real money is, B2B. I'm not focusing on B2C. So B2C, boring industries, is where I am focusing on. But I think every single industry will be using AI of some sort in next 2 to 3 years.
Awesome. Awesome. Nick, I'm sure you have a few questions as well. You want to ask?
Yes, I'm very curious about one. I know that you're founder of one startup.ai, right?
Yeah.
And what is that? What is what company is that? And what is the vision behind this company?
So actually, I just had a call with my friend. He was trying to explore some opportunities in AI. Like, hey, you have a good brain, and why we need to do something like that, or I just need to invest something into it. And I just brainstormed a bunch of ideas. Like, okay, how can we take advantage of this technology? Plus, we move really fast, so we do a lot of experiments. So I just create a group. So we are 3 partners in OpenAI. The vision behind that is we empower different industries with AI. Either we build some sort of agency that runs or that does certain things for them. Either we build AI apps for them. Either we build AI automation, whatever that we do within AI for different industries. That's the vision. And we basically work with already established distribution system. So we don't need to go and market out the product ourselves. We just find an industry where there is, for example, 10,000 users already, and we just find out how AI can help them make more money or save them more time. And we just build that stuff. We work with them on a percentage basis. So it's like 30% our stake, 70% their stake for the V2 of that service. And it is going really good. Right now, we have one opportunity where the company is already doing 3 million ARR. And for the V2, we already secured a 30% stake in the company. And now when we launch that, we will be 30% shareholder of that company. And we're building the V2, which is AI powered, which is built on the latest tech. So that's what I'm doing with one startup. It's a startup venture studio. Either we acquire businesses, either we acquire startups that are just sitting idle. People are not building on top of that. Either I do that or I build something from scratch, which is possible with AI and outsourced talent. That's the main goal with one startup.
Right. Because I remember seeing, I still look at your Twitter bio sometimes, and you mentioned having 12 startups in 12 months, and you've got 3 currently in process. Does that feed into that? If I'd love to learn a bit more about that, because once I read that on your bio, I was thinking, wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. So yes, it is falling under that, but that's startup venture studio is just like a school. It's just like a college. It's just like its own industry, its own holding company with 10 or 15 startups underneath that. And what kind of startups? A startup doesn't need to be a company with 50 employees. It can be just a simple web app that is doing X for Y company, and we're just launched that, and we have a distribution channel, and we're making $5,000, $10,000 per month from that startup. That's the main goal of one startup. For that, we have 3 startups already. One is for real estate industry. One is for creators. One is for fitness niche. Right now, we're looking into sports psychology. So that's what we're doing on that side. And I think it is easy to do. It is not very hard to launch 12 startups in 12 months if you have a really good team and if you have utter level of clarity what you want to do. So I just don't want to spread too thin, just invest a lot of the money in things that I am not interested in. I just pick a gap in an industry and I see like, okay, how AI can, fill this gap, or how AI can benefit, this industry. And I just start to create a very minimum viable product for them. They use that, they like that, and then we just build on top of, user feedback. So that's the plan with one startup. And if we work in this mechanism, I think we should be able to launch 10 to 12 startups in 1 year.
Yeah, this is very interesting. So you mentioned that you acquire teams or you find out some new niche in some company, right? So like, how do you acquire teams? Like, how do you find people? And could you describe like the team structure? Is that all the time same people, or it's all the time different people? And how do you find the right talent for each project?
That's a very good question. So I work in a different manner, I would say, because I
Yeah.
was working in Web3. We were just building a lot of communities, a lot of projects. So I had that knowledge with me, and then I also did marketing. I was writing content, so I was also involved in info products. So all of that knowledge, I think, is coming handy right now. So I work on a project basis. So every project will have a team of three. One is a developer, one is a designer, and one is the generalist who knows both sides of things. So if anything is going wrong, this is the guy who they can go to. So it's like a team of three for each project. How do I find talent? Mostly freelancers, because I think freelancers are the best way to outsource if you know what you want to build. And that comes with writing SOPs for them, writing descriptions like, okay, I need this task done in this time frame, and this is the thing that I'm looking for. So don't use your brain, just follow the instructions and get it done. So I'm using freelancers for that, team of three for each project, and so far it is going really good.
Mhm. And any success stories, or like what is the most successful project right
Right
now?
now, I think the biggest success is the real estate CRM system partnership that we did. I think that's the most successful one. We're already developing the back end of the V2. And it is a lot of work, but it worth a shot because the company is already doing good. There is so much scope in that. So I think that I would call a success story. Apart from that, I am also building Kingdom. I mentioned a couple of times on Twitter that that's another company which is also an in the real estate niche. So what Kingdom is, it is Copilot for real estate agents. So now imagine I'm a real estate agent and I live in Vancouver. I have very less time to promote myself on a digital platform, but I do need leads all the time, right? So right now, how real estate agents are working, they just make cold calls, they just do door knocking, which is very old school. So I thought, why not create an AI copilot that can generate content for their industry, for their demographics, for their targeted audience. Also build an AI copilot that understands their needs and evaluate their performance. Like how good are they doing? Where do you need to be better? And then also provide them lead sources and all the things that they need in order to be successful in their business. So Kingdom is like an AI copilot for real estate agents, and then we're also building a CRM system for real estate industry. So yeah, that's these two I think would be the success story.
Wow. To be honest, CJ, the amount of experience you have is crazy in such a short space of time in 3 years. It's amazing, to be honest. But I think one thing that selfishly I would love to know, what kind of valuable insights, and I think a lot of people watching this are probably starting off, or they're new founders, or they want to build something similar to what you've built. What kind of insight could you give them to reach where you are currently?
First of all, I think thank you so much for the kind words. I'm still a student. I'm just failing. I fail a lot. So the insights I would say is just have a curious mind. That's all. That's all you need, because everything is available online. All the knowledge that you need in the world to become anyone, everything is available either on YouTube or any other platform that you can find. So, but all you need is a curious mind and then a consistent approach. You need to build, you need to fail, you need to get up, you need to get fail again, fail, 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 fail. And then all you need is a one shot, right? So, but when you don't quit, you can be successful. So that's one thing that I think is a must for anyone who's out there. All you need to do is just have a never never settle, never quitting attitude. And second thing is just have a curious mind. Whatever thing that you think I am very much interested in, just dive deep and deep and deep. There is 1,000 rabbit holes that you can go into. And I'm sure that you will find one thing that you will be very much excited and you will be working on that for 10 to 12 hours a day without feeling like it's a work for you. And that one thing will take you wherever you want to go.
Yeah, and I feel a lot of people that's listening, they probably need to hear that in terms of just be curious, find what you could work on for 12 hours a day without it feeling like you're working 12 hours a day. But I think there's another question I do have for you in terms of, you said you're getting started. So what's the long-term plans for yourself, CJ? Where do you see yourself in the kind of 5 years into the future?
I think I've written about this on my Twitter. 3 years from now, my plan is to take 100 million exit, and then I'm off. I'm off of the hook, and I will be doing some boring stuff after that. So that's my plan. How would I do that is basically by doing bunch of experiments, because you cannot have all the eggs in one basket. So I cannot rely on one thing. That's why I'm doing a lot of experiments. That's why I'm building a lot of things. I'm failing for sure, but I admire that because I'm learning a lot faster and I am moving a lot faster. I'm meeting a lot of the genius brains than me, and I'm learning from them. So for me, it's just about the experience. It's just like ride along, see what stakes, what are the things that you like to do. So 5 years from now, I think realistically, financially, 100 million exit. And then I would just be running something around content, because this is the thing that I just love. I just love to write. I just love to share my thoughts. So something in AI, a holding company with like 4 or 5 startups underneath that, a good solid exit after 3 years for certain project from a certain project in a very boring industry. I think that would be ideal. If that doesn't happen, I'm good. I'm still loving the space, loving the experience and everything that I'm doing every single day.
Awesome, CJ. If you don't mind, I would love to hit you with some rapid fire questions. Sure. So when it comes to AI automation model, do you still think it's alive? Do you still think that people should pursue it, or do you think maybe pursue something else?
I think AI automation is as big as anything else in AI space.
Yeah.
Because all we know is Zapier and Make and all the automation that we make from them, but things are happening right now, and automation is also revolving around AI. So this is, I saw some weird demos, which I think I found very interesting. So now imagine there are AI agents that are, trained on performing specific tasks. So now all you need to do is just write a prompt. Hey, write me or find me 50 email addresses of TikTokers that are in this industry. So now this AI is finding the agents, like scraper agent that goes onto the TikTok, scrapes the 50 email addresses, validates those 50 email addresses, and then write them personalized messages and send it to, the marketer agent. That's the future of AI, right? So I think automation is alive, but you need to be hyper-focused. You need to find one industry, one vertical, whatever that you want to do. Either you want to provide your services to enterprise clients, do that. Either you work with creators, do that. But when you spread too thin and you work with 15 different industries, it gets messy, and then it breaks. So agency models are still, I think, the way to go with AI, because we're still learning, we're still moving really fast. I think AI automation is still there, but you need to be hyper-focused in order to make it work.
So leading on from that, is it more SaaS model or still AI automation?
Obviously SaaS. SaaS is the way to go, because one-time effort, and then all you're doing is just tweaking things or refining things on user feedback. So it's a lot less effort than an agency, and agency is not scalable. You can just work with so many clients, for example, 10 to 15 clients at a time. With SaaS, you can have 100,000 users too. So I think SaaS is the way to go. but not everyone can build a profitable SaaS. It's not about to build something, it's about to sell that thing, right? So marketing is a lot, distribution, I think, is a lot more important than a product itself. So everything has pros and cons, but for me, I would pick SaaS over automation agency.
Now, this is a bit of a weird one, but will AI replace your girlfriend in about 2 to 3 years' time? Or what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think so. That's ethical because, but yeah, people are doing some crazy stuff there. But I do believe that these AI assistants, or I would call AI agents, or whatever you call them, they're very beneficial. For example, if you train a model on stoicism and you're just talking about philosophy and you're just talking to this thing every single day for like 10 to 15 days, you will see that thing will help you out in order to make you more knowledgeable. So there are some cool use cases. I'm not sure about the girlfriend side of things, but I do believe there is some spark there.
I think leading on to that, what's your opinions on AI wearables, and where do you think we'll go with that? Where do you see it in the future in your mind's eye?
So I think AI wearables are aligned with metaverse and all those things that we were hearing 2-3 years back. Now imagine you are wearing glasses with a camera inside it, and that's an AI, and you are seeing all the insights. Hey, this is a very popular restaurant, 4.5 ratings. Oh, here is a Subway, here is this thing, here is that, everything. So it's like an immersive experience, AR immersive experience. So AI wearables, I think, is just trying to create their own industry. The one thing that I am very bullish on is like glasses, for sure. I'm not sure about the Neuralink or things like that, or the chip side of things, but everyone is trying to explore some sort of use case for AI wearable. But I think it's very interesting. It can make our lives a lot easier. We will be less hooked to our screens or mobile phones, and everything will be in just smart glasses, and we can see, we can interact, we can talk. So I think it's very interesting for me where we're going in next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and the last question I do have in this rapid fire round, which wasn't really rapid fire, but is, I know you mentioned skills with, if you're looking to get in the industry, the curiosity aspect, to be consistent, but what's the one fundamental skill you would say to someone who wants to be an AI founder, or someone who wants to go deep within this industry?
I think I would say 2 things. One is the basics of coding, Python and Node.js, because you need to talk to this AI, and AI, to set up everything, you need some sort of code. So if you know the basics, then AI can also code for you. You just need to proofread the AI code, right? And then you can just move really fast. That's one thing. And second thing is marketing. I think now building stuff is not as important as to sell that. There are thousands of abandoned startups already sitting down there, but not very many people can sell things. So marketing, I think, is very important. How you can, present yourself, how you can generate sales, how you can scale. So coding and marketing, I think, the 2 skills that every founder should have.
Perfect. And I think, Nick, you want to add?
A lot of young entrepreneurs are going to watch this video for sure. And I think they all have big question. If I have to start today and by the end of the year make 10K per month, what should be my blueprint in AI industry?
So if I were to start something from core scratch, and I'm a core beginner, all I would do is just try to build one problem, one solution, AI apps. That's it. Either it is web app, either it is an automation or anything, but I would just solve one problem, one solution for certain industries. And I would do 50 experiments. And I know that one would definitely stick, and that one project for me can generate me even $50,000 to $100,000. And luckily, everything is available through APIs. So there is a project called Replicate. They provide you AI through an API and all you need to do is just go out there, take that code, integrate that into your system, and then do whatever you want, whatever your use case is. So technology is there. If I were to start from something, I would just take 7 to 15 days to learn the basics of code and just try to experiment with that and just try to build things and just launch really fast into the market, see what the users are saying with that, whatever sticks, double down on that. And I know that within 3 to 6 months, you will have something really magical that will be making you around $15,000 to $20,000.
Wow, that's brilliant.
So just build things, experiment. And where can our listeners can learn more about your stuff? Where can they find you, CJ?
I live on Twitter, I think, right now. Yeah, so that's the only place I have right now. I was running a newsletter, but I think that writing a text-based newsletter is not very much optimal if I trade my time. So I'm trying to experiment with some sort of a video type newsletter. And if I launch that, that would be ideal because then I can just, send my thoughts every single week. And that 15-minute video can have a lot more insights than a text-based, newsletter. So yeah, until then, you can find me on Twitter.
Yeah, so we'll include the Twitter in the description to this video. And there we go. Thanks, CJ and Gino, for this very insightful conversation. I think AI automation agency is alive and have a bright future. And see you in the next episode of Relentless AI.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was a really magical experience.